This is not a stream about Maya. We're not. Okay, wait. I forgot to change my title. Sorry. Hello, I'm Scott. But I'm gonna show. We're gonna do a quick demo. Hi. I hope everyone is well. I think I've partially recovered from the curses that we had on the screen yesterday, where the SD card was just cursed. I spent some time earlier today trying to uncurse that SD card, and it is just cursed. And it does seem to be a thing, which I've never heard of, that if a SD card thinks it is at the end of its life for whatever reason, it will just become read-only. And apparently my SD card had just enough life in it for us to write the image, the Raspberry Pi image, and then after that it became read-only, but not really read-only, fake read-only, where it would act like you were writing to it, throw no errors, seem like you're totally writing to it, but you actually couldn't, which is really weird, and I've never encountered that. So that card is here. It needs to just be destroyed. The other card I was having some trouble with until I just stuck it in my camera and formatted it, and then it worked after that, which was good. The bad thing is I discovered my camera lens is exploded for some reason. So I don't know why that is. Okay, we're gonna have a brief, this is a home automation stream. We're gonna have a brief Maya LT tutorial, very brief. For Life is Yours, who made a crazy tank game. You should check out Life is Yours channel. I know you're the only one watching. Don't, no, wait, you're gonna derail me more? Okay, let's see, let's go over here. Here's the thing. So you have all this stuff. You have a whole bunch of extra stuff all over the place, right? And like you have some groups that look like you maybe like control G'd them or whatever. Don't, you can delete those. It could be that those ended up there because you were doing other things and they're like leftover remnants. So what I would say you want to end up with is like, and then it's dumb. I hate this, but it's a middle drag up, which is so stupid instead of a left drag. You know, and then you'll just have your little dude and whatever, it'll all be fine. And then when you're gonna export, you don't need all this other stuff. If you're using my LT, it has nice Unity exporty stuff specifically for Unity. I don't think normal Maya does. But one thing I would generally do is select these things and do edit, delete all by type history. I don't know what kind of modeling you've been doing, but if you've been doing like whatever you've been doing, if you've done a series of steps in Maya, it will have some history on it. And if you just want to make sure you're just clean as a whistle, you can do delete history, and then you'll be all good. And then when you actually want to export, just select the object and just only do export selected. File export selected. Like I have send to Unity because I'm in my LT. But if you just did export selection and then did an FBX and then export the selection, if we went into Unity, wait, if you delete all by if you delete history, I said delete history, not delete everything. Pick the stuff, edit, delete all by type history. You're only deleting the history, not doing delete. Because Maya in general is non-destructive. That's not entirely true, but like as you do stuff, like if I have this guy and then I decide to do like a smooth on it or something, that smooth operation still exists in time and space. It's like that smooth face still exists here. And so if I wanted to be sure, like, no, now I'm good, I want to be all clean as a whistle, I do it out of paranoia just because I don't know Maya very well. So now that's gone, and now you know it's like, good. Your history's all clean. And then when you selected just this guy and did the export selection, and then we come over here and we bring in our tank the tank will maintain that hierarchy. So I get a single turret object, but I do have both meshes. Oh no, I get both. Look, the whole hierarchy's there. It's all great. Okay, so you drag it in and you got it. It's all good. The one thing that's probably wrong, which is always wrong for me, is the scale. So this convert units, I just don't do the convert units. And there's probably, you can fix that in the FBX export, but I always just do the defaults. And now because of this, because you're all good, you can mess with, you know, whatever you need to still be able to move it. I should have put materials on things, whatever. Okay, does that make sense? The tank is wearing a thong. It's filthy. No, they won't be a single mesh unless you combine them. And even then you could have sub meshes, which still is fine. You all good? Cool. Yeah, to actually make them a single thing. Oh, what's it called? You'd have to do combine. And then I have a single thing that is both of those. And see this? This is probably what you ended up with right here. This history. If I just do edit, delete all by type history, then I just have this. But now I can't just mess with that. I could still put different materials on it and it would come in as submeshes in Unity. You're welcome. Glad to help. Okay, enough of that. So, two things. Draklin, it's not called HomeBoi anymore because that was a bad name. That name's canceled. It's now called Haunt. And let's see, what has happened since yesterday? Yeah, okay, so we determined that this SD card has a witch's curse on it, even though I didn't use it very much and it's just been in a closet for a few years, but some sort of curse made this where it is read-only, but it pretends to be writable, so that's bad. Another funny thing, the problems I was having formatting the other SD card last night seemed to have been the adapter I was using, but when I put the other SD card in this adapter, it seemed to work. I don't know. I ordered some new SD cards. I ordered a new SD card reader. I ordered a new power supply, trying to figure out what the deal is, but I think we got it anyway. It was probably the roofing vibrations. You're probably right. Look at this new terminal. Look at this new... I don't know that I love it because you can't have split panes, but it's pretty cool. Oh, it's here. Terminus. It almost matches this. I have so many dark programs now that have different dark modes. Like, all the dark modes are very clashy. Discord's one set of colors, OBS is another set of colors. It's not ideal. Okay, so that Raspberry Pi is working, right? So we could like SSH into it. This guy. That's too many letters. That was also too many letters. Okay. Yes, I didn't change the password yet. Don't hack me. I didn't want to buy that stuff. Some of it I kind of needed. I got a USB-C SD card reader just to be for my computer I hate. Okay, so the Pi is seemingly working. It's fine. Our little this little home automation script is working. It's just really slow because we used if this then that. But our little dude where we can go to like localhost 3000, and this is what will eventually run on the Pi. Scene evening, I think is set up. The lights should turn to evening in a moment. Yeah, so they turned to evening, and now they're probably going to turn back, which is going to be weird. Let's see if they do. Yes, the reason they turn back, what Pi is it? It's a Raspberry Pi 3, which I didn't realize this. I had a 3, but most of the work I've done was with the original Pi, and then a bit of work with the Pi 0. But the Pi 3 takes 2.5 amps, which, I don't know, the 35... I railed on the Raspberry Pi yesterday. I generally like the Raspberry Pi. I just think it's kind of a false promise. And one of those false promises is, oh, it's a $35 computer. Yeah, except it's not, because you have to buy an SD card and whatever other accessories. And now you can't even use your phone charger with it. Like previously it was like, you know, it's fine that the Pi costs $35 because everybody's got a phone charger they can use and it's no problem. But now that the Pi 3 takes 2.5 amps, You have to, that's not a common thing. Even this fancy iPod charger is only 2, or iPad charger is only 2 amps. Actually, this is 2.4. So why was this not working? Because it's 0.4 and not 5? That's annoying. Anyway, it stopped complaining about low voltage when I plugged it into my laptop charger. But I ordered another charger, whatever, 3 amp charger, it'll be great. Okay, then the other thing I started doing, so that stuff gets here tomorrow. So I don't know that I'm going to do much with the Pi. But the original goal on this was that we were going to have the Pi just like living in the closet, and then for all of our little dudes, anywhere we want like a little device around the apartment that's actually going to do the business, we want a cute little NodeMCU. Cute. I keep my Pi in the closet, always. And a NodeMCU, let's just check out what's going on old Amazon. Because if you want an Arduino, and this is an Arduino with no Wi-Fi, this is like like an Arduino Uno? $23, which is not bad. However, I know I have even smaller breadboards than this. I have some very cute little breadboards out there. Before I knew how to solder, I would keep the breadboards all the way through my project. My very first sort of physical computing project, gosh, was that 10 years ago now? Is that really 10 years ago? Maybe even more. No, wow, almost 10 years. We're almost to the 10-year anniversary of my first melting. You can use that. You can solder plastic. So I didn't know how to solder yet, so I just like glued, or didn't even glue, I just wrapped them in tape. Yeah, these little breadboards, I just made my whole circuit there. It works totally fine. This was my first kind of physical computing project before I knew anything about anything. And when I was in art school and I took a directed studies class so I could teach myself. They were pretty funny. The funny thing about these were, man, so I made these and cool piano gloves. They're very ridiculous, but they got picked up in a weird way. Like one day I was at work. I worked at a studio called Superfat at the time, and the guy next to me was in Gmail, and you know how Gmail has little ads? There was some little ad that was like Discovery Channel piano gloves, and it was about my piano gloves. And they didn't, I feel like people are better about that now, but they like ran a thing about it without asking. And for a long time, this was my most popular project. And I was contacted by some like Japanese variety show that wanted to use footage, and they asked me if I would send them a video of playing a song. And the problem was I made them so poorly that they basically couldn't play any song. Like they were incredibly limited in what they could do. If I made them now, I would let you do like accidentals, almost like with a shift key on a keyboard. But it just turned out that the Japanese national anthem perfectly fit into the range and the set of notes that I had. So I sent them this, I recorded the Japanese national anthem with it, and look at this incredible frame rate. It's gonna work. Oh yeah. They were very grateful that I played their national anthem, but it was like almost literally the only song I could play. I think I had the piano gloves in a box somewhere. After I made these, there were some a torture device. What are you talking about? Looks super cool in cyberpunk. Some young women at a school in Germany a bit later remade some piano gloves, and they used flex sensors, and theirs were better because then you didn't have to press on anything. But I did like it. What are you talking about? No, this is what the future looks like, Draclin. Cyberpunk. I didn't know how to make anything. They turned out okay. Okay. We got distracted. So yeah, $23 for an Arduino, $35 plus for Raspberry Pi. However, and your Arduino doesn't even have Wi-Fi. A Raspberry Pi Zero is only $5, but it doesn't have Wi-Fi either. But a Node MCU, and I still don't know exactly who's the most reputable person. But check it out. 2 for $12. 3 for $16 with a coupon. Amazon Choice says this is the choice. I kind of inherited mine, so I don't really know. Look at that, 4 for $18. Incredible. So I like these for little connect. Oh, this one has a cool little screen on it. Look at that. I love it. I want it. I want that. Look at that cool little screen. Pressure sensitive material. Yeah. You can buy that, or a really cheap way to do it. So it's a lot of, was it kind of foamy? Yeah, I mean, Arduino Uno is sort of the de facto. Anything I'm prototyping on, I generally prototype on. But is it thin? Well, because sometimes those work. I've done it. I've cheated on that to make pressure sensitive resistance, because sometimes when you get when you buy an IC, like when you buy a little chip and it's stuck in that foam is slightly conductive, and you can use it to squeeze it to make it astatic. It's slightly conductive, and sometimes you can make little squishy sensors out of it. Yeah, Velostat. Oh yeah, Velostat is super thin. I like Velostat. Okay, but it really is a packaging material. Yeah, it's for electrostatic protection. But you can make stuff with it for sure. I took a class called Tech Crafts. We did a lot of stuff like that. How did I do that? I made Oh, I had a cheaper way, easier way to do it. Was to take felt and then just like hole punch some holes in it, and then put 2 layers of aluminum foil. And then it wasn't really pressure sensitive, but you would just squish it, and it was you could make like squishy soft circuits that way, because it would close the circuit by squishing the aluminum foil together. And that was cheaper than this. Okay, anyway, the point of all of this is I love Arduinos, but like an Arduino with Wi-Fi, or with some kind of little Wi-Fi module, I don't even know what you get anymore. Man, Arduinos, I don't even know what's going on these days. So like, what's that? $33, outrageous. An Arduino Uno with Wi-Fi, 64, outrageous. So anyway, that's why I like these little dudes. This thing, I have one of these. This company used to be called Spark. I wonder if my thing still works. But this is not very different from this, I don't think. The thing that was kind of cool about it was their software. Yeah, because it has like, they do some cloud stuff for you. You asked him what the best Wi-Fi Arduino setup is? It's this, Draclin. I'm telling you. NodeMCU, because you can use the Arduino IDE with this. I mean, it's good unless you need a more powerful processor, and then at that point, you should maybe just use a Raspberry Pi, I think, my opinion. Anyway, so I was messing with a couple other things today. I also wanted to try to get set up with Arduino development and Visual Studio Code, which was pretty cool and surprisingly easy. Visual Studio Code, like, NodeMCU too much of a headache? Man, I think it used to be, but it's really pretty easy now. Like, I mean, as of the first time I tried it, it definitely seemed like a headache and stuff didn't work very well and it wasn't very well supported. But now you just like pick the board and it works. Arduino and Wi-Fi Shield, that's so much more money. ESP8266 is what this little fellow has. Just built right on him at a fraction of the cost. So I want to make like little doodads around my room that let me haunt. And so I don't want to spend Like a Wi-Fi shield alone is not super cheap. I'm telling you, this is it. This is the way to go. If you want to inexpensively control something over the internet, I think this is the dude. I might change my mind, maybe. We'll see. Let's try it. So the thing that it is currently doing, though, let's set the lights to evening. If I just plug this in, it's going to start just spamming the... Why does it think this is an Adafruit Huzzah? I don't think that's actually what this board is. Okay, you see the lights change? It's because this thing right now is just spamming the URL to change the lights. Is this a Huzzah? I thought it was just a generic... It doesn't have an Adafruit logo on it, but okay. We can pretend to be a Huzzah, I guess. The big question on this stream is how long is it going to be until I accidentally show my Wi-Fi password on stream? That's the big question of the day. Probably not long. My RGB light. So that's a minor sticking point. So it's a TP-Link light. The system they use, their cloud system is TP-Link Casa, and it works pretty well. But right now, the only easy way for me to interact with it, other than taking out my phone, is to talk to that robot over there who doesn't listen. Alexa, turn on evening. Well, she heard me that time. Alexa, turn on stream. Oh. Yeah, she didn't hear me. Alexa, be quiet, please. She gets it wrong all the time. And when I'm like leaving the house and I just want to turn off the lights, whatever, I don't want to argue with the robot. I don't want to pull out my phone. So here's the issue. We already did this stuff with heat where you could click and change the light, because the local networking of these lights is super easy and very like not secure. You just send, if you're on the same network as these lights, you can just send them packets and they will listen to you seemingly. Like, as far as I can tell, there's not really any security, which is an interesting thing to know if, say, you were at like some business someday. Okay, Drakenlord, you're fine. But you already have to have an Arduino. So even if this is 4 for $3, I mean, that's really kind of what's on this thing. Actually, it is what's on that. It's not expensive, but you already have to have an Arduino. And an Arduino is $23. So that takes your price to $26. And this thing was like closer to $5. 1/5 the price. 1/5 the price. In fact, you're pretty sure you can like get on Alibaba and get these from China for even less if you buy some number of them. But this is the chip that is on this. That is what is on this right here. I had a chip computer. This is a weird thing. It was like, oh, the world's first $9 computer. And then I got mine, and it was a Kickstarter, and it was pretty cool, and they did cool things with it, and they made like this this Game Boy case and did all this stuff. And then they like ghosted. One day the company just ghosted. I wonder if the site's still up. Which was kind of a bummer, because I wanted is that not? Nexenco insolvency. It's a good, yeah, March 2018. Yeah, it just vanished, which was kind of a lame thing, because it seemed pretty cool, and they did cool stuff, and they had this like pocket chip thing that was like a little Game Boy dude. I think there is a community around it still trying to maintain it, but kind of a bummer. The thing I liked about this, it was a nicer experience than the Raspberry Pi. Partially, it not only was it only $9, it also had onboard memory, which was cool. Not a ton, but you could install your operating system without also having to have additional storage. And it had Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Wait, that was a chip probe. Excuse me. The original chip did not. I think the original chip... No, it did. Yeah, the original chip did. It didn't have HDMI out, but you could get like a little HDMI piggyback dude. I thought it had storage. Oh yeah, 48 gig. So you could install the OS. Load the Babby? Sure. Sure. What is loaded right now? Wait a minute, the Babby is loaded. Babby's just not running. Oh, that's not what I meant to do at all. I didn't push the, I didn't push those updated versions of stuff. Did I? I thought I had a version of the Babby that ran clear. Is that not true? Of course I do. Then where is it? Or did I just not set up this browser to... No, background none. Slightly confused. Of course I do. Of course I do. Background on the body. So a background none should turn that off. Right? Oh, maybe it's cached. No. Maybe it's like cached on the CDN or something. Let's see. I know, we used it, but it was local. But this looks like it's pushed. Yeah, this is not... That's weird. This is not the latest version. Because this is body HTML and not just body. So why was I not seeing a diff for that in source tree? Oh, I committed it, but I didn't push it. Classic Blender. I think we can push all these. Because I think I just got rid of the image, but I'll just hope this is all good. I don't think we want to do this. Yeah, we do. Sure. Okay. Binary C, what's up? We're not worried about undervoltage anymore. We're done with that. Now we're worried about overvoltage, actually. Because these little NodeMCU dudes are only, what is it, 3.6? 3.3? I think 3.6 will make them upset. Binary C, that SD card was cursed. Like, it truly was in a state where you could, it would act like you were writing to it, but you could not write to it. And I tried so many things to try to recover it, but that apparently is a thing that some SD cards, when they reach a certain state, they will internally disable writes, but only in a like way that they lie to you, where when you try to write to it, It's like, cool, thank you for writing that, but it doesn't actually write anything. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Not the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but one of the weirder like storage things I've ever seen, I would say. The second weirdest storage thing I've ever seen. The first weirdest storage thing is my favorite hard drive recovery trick, where if you have a drive that is failing and you just need to get a few files off, yeah, it's pretty weird. The SD card's like, yeah, thanks, cool. No, I got it, cool. No, definitely hear you. The weirdest storage related thing is my favorite hardware like recovery thing, where you put a hard drive in a freezer. Yep, Binary C knows the trick. And it actually works. It's amazing. Okay. Now are we good? Yes. What a weird battle. So I got new SD cards coming, all that stuff. So this, we're good. Okay, so I got this working. We got, thanks to some code I sold from Henry's Bench. But now I've cut and pasted code from so many places that who knows where I stole it all from. Hard to say. This is our little local server that's running here on this machine. The Raspberry Pi is working, but nothing's running there at this moment. So I think all I want to do is just what do we want to do? Ooh, the miracle of ZFS. Draclin, I don't know. I mean, it certainly wouldn't work on like an SSD or anything, but if it's a platter drive, it could be. Maybe you're right. Maybe my favorite trick is gone. Okay, so this works-ish. I just want to end up with a loop where we just don't want to do this. We don't do this conditionally, basically. And based on a button press. And all this other stuff, we don't care that much. Basically, we just want to say, hey, if Wi-Fi is connected, then respond to the button press. Otherwise, cool. So we'll need to pick a pin to use. Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to look at. So I assume this machine has... Yeah, okay. But this is all Luau stuff? Or is this stuff that will be available to me in... So if I'm doing this Arduino-wise, I probably have to just use Arduino World. But I thought there was something... Or... Am I wrong? I thought I saw something in this documentation about... What's the syntax? Oh, why do you need a resistor here if you're... You can just use the internal resistor. Okay, yeah, so we'll just need a button and then input and then, but we want to see like, I don't know if it, does it matter pull up or pull down? Is there one that's better than the other? What happened to the baby? Oh no. How do you do that? $20K pull-up resistors. So can I just say input pull up? I think there are some weird things about some of the pins. I definitely saw some document that said weird things about certain pins. I thought it was this document, but it was seemingly not. GPIO2. Okay. 0 through 15 have a pull up, but there's weird stuff about 0, 2, and 15. 16 has a pull down for some reason. So we'll just use like something. What's a handy one? Why are there 2 pins marked as D2? Doesn't seem good. Why are there 2 pins marked as... I wonder if that's a misprint. Maybe that's supposed to be D1. I wonder if some of the pins are used for the Wi-Fi. Well, let's use D6 sounds good. D6 sounds great. Uh-oh. D8 problem. Why does it say solved? Oh. Oh, GPIO 15 is D8. Okay, I'll use D4. This person... Save me the trouble. Okay, so... What are you mad about? Is that not a constant I can use here? I need to include Arduino. My friend Henry again. Let's steal more code from Henry. So those are the different GPIO. Well, okay. So he's just using a number. That's fine. What did we say we wanted to use? D4? So that's just 2. No problem. Okay. So we will set that to pin up. Oh, that's a 0. Can we just determine that 0 is a bad idea? Let's do 3. We'll do 2. Okay. Click. Okay. Let's jump some jumpers. I don't have any black cables. Handy. What is the baby doing? Okay, so what did I just say? I already forgot. I said pen 2, which is actually digital 4. So we will go from ground to one side of this machine, and from the other side of this machine to these little jumpers don't stick very well. Okay, cool. Well, that made it mad, and the light just came on in a way that looks like it's upset that I just did that. So great. Let's see if I can transfer to it or if I've caused problems. Why did that little blue light come on? Pulling up, so that goes to ground. That's D4. That should close that circuit. That seems like a thing, right? Uploading. Maybe I need to push the flash button. Why's that light on? Is there any reason that would make it angry? This breadboard seems not good, or these jumpers seem not good. Like, as I wiggle it, I see things changing, which is not a great sign. Seems not good. What have I done? That seemed innocent enough. Okay, unplug these. Try to upload again. I haven't done anything with any ports previously. Unless like D4 is used with something. Okay, well, it's transferring now. Terrific. Wish it wasn't so slow. So you can, it is possible, and it seems cool, and I would like to do it. You can put sort of like a little bootloader dude on these. Like a Wi-Fi bootloader, sort of. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but you can flash these with some little over-the-air update program, basically, and then you can deploy sketches to them over the air. So once we get this working, maybe that will be a thing that would be cool to do. Okay. This does not seem like the latest data. Okay. Hooking up to ground should be no problem. Why do you light up, little light? Is that light connected to D4 in some way? Very suspicious. This doesn't look good. Okay, it seems to be continually rebooting in a way that makes it seem unhappy. Oh, well, for one thing, this needs to be inverted, right? Because we want to say that it's always pulled up. Some of these buttons I kind of inherited, so I don't actually know how they work. Maybe I'm not using these buttons correctly. It seems simple enough. What do your pins look like, little friend? Not a data sheet for you, little fellow? It's worried that I'm using it backwards. Maybe I am. What it? This is where I just was. What are the pins on this thing? Probably something I should remember. Two pairs, flip it around until it works. Yeah, I thought I did. But maybe I didn't. This is what... A and C... Okay, I think I have it. Sideways. Okay, and then this needs to be the opposite of this, right? Multimeter would probably be the right idea. If I had one in my hand. It's in the closet. So I could just guess. There's only two options, right? Can't be that hard. Maybe I'll get the multimeter while this uploads. I'm out of practice. See how rusty I am, man? I didn't even get my multimeter. Rusty. But that's good. That's what this stream is for. Oh, that's true. I think this is the button I have, but maybe not. Let's just make things beep. Is my beeper not working? That's also very possible. I haven't used this multimeter in some time. Is it beeping? Oh, it is. My battery's just low. You failed symmetry class? Oh, this is confusing. This is not the way I would have thought it goes. Actually. That's close. Oh, I see. Okay. That's not... Is that what is shown here? I don't know. Okay, this seems like more what I want. Okay, cool. Did you actually take a symmetry class? I would take a symmetry class. I love symmetry. It's a class I would actually take. Okay, now click. Okay, so if we set the lights to blue, now I'm like hearing, uh-oh. Why did they automatically turn to not blue? This guy shouldn't do that until I click. Click. Okay, now we can have a battle. So I did add some buttons to my Stream Deck. The new model of your, what, of your tank? Okay, so now I can push this blue button and it will talk. This is a convoluted setup. Okay, let me break down for you what we're doing here. When I push this blue button, it talks to this computer, which talks to if this then that, which talks to the TP-Link Casa backend, which talks to my lights. And that's why it's freaking slow. That is a silly way to do things, but that's okay. Let's add 2 buttons so we can at least switch between those 2 modes. This is all just so I can have a light switch. This is all... Really, it's so the aim is this, is I'm gonna just... I want my back wall to look like one of these Soviet era control panels. I did have my heart a little broken yesterday because this was my favorite one and I found out it's not even Soviet. This was from like a merchant nuclear ship from 1962, I think. But I do love all this stuff. My favorite one is, yeah, this one's really great. There's another one I really like though. Oh, that one's, I don't think I saw that one. Man, these are so good. I like this one. I like the yellow. I think mine's going to be yellow and gray. And then I might just use copper tape for the buttons. Oh, it's so good. Okay, let's add another button. These jumper cables, it seems like the pins are too thin or something, or my breadboard is all stretched out. Sad situation to be in. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants a stretched out breadboard. Okay. I put that on not great. I need to get a tiny little camera, huh? I don't know what tiny little camera to get though, is the thing about that. Okay, so that can just go to the ground rail, and then both of these can go to that rail, and everything will be great. Right? It's gonna be the best light switch I ever made. And then this will be, I don't know what pen do I use? It seems like there's some weird restrictions potentially. Where did our friend go? So don't mess with 2, 0, 2, or 15. Don't mess with them. Where was that? Our friend, the hunter, Harry, whatever his name was. Is this guy? Oh. many people using resistors for? What was that person's name? We're never gonna find it ever again. Harry? Henry, it was Henry. My buddy Henry. Digital input basic, yes. I just want to know what pens are not crazy. I feel like my internet connection is really slow. Maybe it's because I went over the limit with what's its face? Comcast. Okay. So we feel good about 0. Maybe. Can I do this? What? Oh yeah? What are you thinking? What kind of vintage serial terminal? What I would like to do is, so I use this stuff sometimes. I mean, it's been a little while, but conductive adhesive. So this stuff, I should get this one that's 1 inch wide. And then you can just do like fancy art things, because I think I want to do some like vinyl design and get some pieces of vinyl. Okay, let's try this. I don't know which button does what. Oh, it wasn't finished uploading. I pushed the button. Oh no. Oh no. What did we say? 3? I don't know which one I made which. 0 is stream. Seems like it's not working. Something about this serial monitor is different than if you call the Arduino open serial monitor. Also, why did it wait until I opened the serial port to try to connect? Your are connecting. Cool. It appeared to have made it angry in some way. What have I done? I didn't really do anything. I plugged in one more cable to D3, which is pin 0. Oh! Didn't it tell me not to use pin 0? Didn't something say don't do that? Let's do 14 instead, maybe. Oops. do wrong? There it goes. Okay, so that should turn the light blue eventually. No, the request didn't work. Broke my URL. Can I concatenate a string like this? Is that valid? Is that a thing I can do? It seems like a thing I should be able to do. This upload is slow. Apparently, if you do it with the, if you do it with the over-the-air thing, it's faster. My real challenge is where I'm gonna find weird consoles. I think I'm just gonna fake it. I think, like, looking at this, it's very graphic and very 2D. So I could lay something out in Illustrator and then cut it on a vinyl cutter or a laser cutter. The thing that would kind of suck though is I'd probably have to hand cut the copper, which would be okay. It just would not be as perfectly precise as the vinyl cutter. I don't think I could cut that on the vinyl cutter. Oops. How do I get to the magical output? Okay, connected to Major Tom. That's the URL. The URL looks right. What did I do wrong? Did I, like, accidentally stop the server or something? Oh. I stopped the server. I didn't do it on purpose. Sometimes the terminal, I like the terminal embedded in Visual Studio Code for the most part, but sometimes it seems like it just vanishes, or maybe I did it. Okay, so now the red button, no, I need to hit the blue button. Okay, and the red button. No, not a no on the red button. Did I accidentally call evening with both of them? What's wrong with you, red button? Oh, I switched to a different pen, didn't I? This is now hooked to, I think it's pen 5. How's that? Yes. Look, we did it. Push the blue button and the lights turn green. It's so slow. That was weird. These cables are not the best. Got a little bit of a battle, I think. This is just too easy to accidentally. Oh, I need to change some. That's why. Because if I press it and hold it, it's just going to spam. Okay. Well, don't do that. So we could do something where we like ignored button presses until we got data back. So like multiple button presses wouldn't do anything. Yeah, that's maybe the thing to do. So if we did like if this and not lock and not lock, and then first thing we do in here is lock it, and then at the end of this unlock it. Oh, wait. That would be a way to do it. Wait for the up. But I kind of want to not let you like spam the button either. So not only prevent just holding it down, but also to prevent you like hitting it repeatedly. Would that actually be a problem? That's true. I can spam it myself. That's fair. So what? So you would say just like sit in here and sit in a loop waiting for the pin to change again? Like what would be is that the way I would do it? Like wait for the pin to go up? Just and essentially like loop while it's there? Or is there a better way to do that? Yeah. Well, let's see if this works. Hold on, serial noise. Okay, blue button. Evening. Why didn't that show the URL? That seemed like the thing I just tried to do didn't work. Why didn't that work? Ooh. I made it mad. Is this all synchronous, right? Like none of this is asynchronous. It's not like, I mean, I don't know actually, like with this, with the Wi-Fi, with the client and HTTP stuff, but nothing here. This is always gonna block, right? There's not some magic here that's gonna. I think I broke it. I guess it comes back fast enough, it doesn't matter. So I should watch for button up. I think you're right. So like truly, am I gonna just... I don't want to do this. I guess. Yeah, they have an example that does it like this. I guess this is. So you can either loop or you can just watch. You can just like store the last button state and ignore things unless the button state actually changes. So, yeah, let's just do that. Maybe the last one too. Well, one day we'll make real containers for these, maybe, if we have more stuff. Sure, sure. Oh no, what's wrong? What'd I do? Skipped a semicolon is what I did. We should maybe just put up some kind of rainbow thing, or you can pick the color for the bulb. Some heat thing with some rainbow heat thing, some heat color picker. It's kind of cool to let all the controls be separate, like different ranges, hue, saturation value, and then different areas to click on. Or some such nonsense. What's the Bebby doing? Crashed in the corner. Sad. Okay, this should be up now, right? Okay, so are we good here? No, this is so slow. Why is it so slow? Actually, am I doing the fastest baud rate I can baud? 115.2. Whoa. Are these even real? Okay. Red light. I wish this would scroll and follow. Okay, that's better. It's just super slow. It's just so slow because we're doing the dumb thing where we're going through 9 different services. Why did it come on that time? Was that truly the last thing I hit? Evening? Okay. Stream. Are we good? Are we good here? Anybody? Everybody? Okay, that seemed to work. Okay, so what do we have now? We have this adorable little creep. So tidy. With some wobbly feeling buttons that can change 2 states. Really, the state I care about is the good night state. Because when I leave the house, why did that change? Did I do that one? I don't feel like I did that last one. I have like a loose connection that sometimes... Turn it. Okay, don't touch it. Good. Stream mode, good. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, that stream mode's all well and good, but the thing that we really want is just to like turn them off. So we could put in a special, what do we do here? We just say, if we get, whatever we get in, basically, we just spit out to. So if we wanted to do, we kind of want a different endpoint. Like just an on and an off, maybe. In which case, maybe we want to do something like this. And then make another button that does off. Instead of seen evening, just like straight up calls off. Let's try it. So that would just be a new endpoint. Nope. So there's this TP-Link, no, TP-Link something. Not the cloud one. No, no JS. This one, I think, is what we've used. That's really what we've been using 2 years ago? Last year? It's just that good. Okay, so let's go install that somewhere. And then what I kind of want to do I guess I could just have all of them. Like we could do a thing where we scanned and then using the scan we would ooh, that's cool. I kind of want to scan, I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to analyze the protocol and see how the scene stuff works. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna want something like this. Oh. So we can go sneak around in here and look at off. So off just as bulb power false. I wonder if this will, so I have a smart plug also. I wonder if this will work for that. Just like turn everything on and turn everything off. So we probably want to do this first. Why does Control C not? Okay, great. Let's just try it one at a time first. I guess on startup we can just get a reference to all of them and then rather than doing it every time. Although I don't know. We have to be a little more resilient. Okay, so let's start with that bulb back there. Turn it off over 1 second and then chase on, dude. That a real thing? It's pretty cool. I like this, even though it's kind of weird and there's no security at all, seemingly, like you can just talk to them directly. But it's kind of annoying for the scene stuff because I don't have an easy way to access the scene, the notion of a scene, at least the way TP-Link does it. I can just make my own, of course, but that's just slightly annoying. Where? Whatever. Do I actually care about this? I don't think I do. What are we doing here? Info. Well, power is the one. That's the real deal. Let's just steal this. Okay. So what did I say here? I said that off is just going to truly turn them off. But it is cool. It is cool to have the individual IP addresses so you can mess with them. That's how we did all the rave stuff. That's how we've done all the stuff with heat. So there's not like, surely there's some like node modules for Hue to do weird things, right? Maybe not. Okay. Off. Did not. I mean, we called it. Did I not log that URL still? I thought I did. did not work. Did I not restart the server? That would be cool. Ha ha ha. Okay, off. Cool. And then stream. Stream is going to be slow, but off should be basically instantaneous. Yeah, off is very fast. So and we could just store these in an array and store them in a map, store them in a set. But if we came up, we could, I guess, whatever. Like for our own scenes, we could just come up with some little JSON thing. But for now, just to turn them off quickly. There's shorthand to make a map. Yeah. Okay. Like this, apparently. So, oops. And then they'll just all be I see the bevy out of the corner of my eyes come to life. And for now, I think all of these, whatever. We can like later potentially make these objects that know different states. Maybe it's better to go the other way around. Because those could be settings. Because that's all you really send it, is just a JSON blob of data. I think this is fine for now. So we can do something like devices. How do you loop through a map? I can't remember. I thought there was a fancier way. Yeah, it's for each and then it's whatever of. That's not what I was thinking it was. I thought there was another way to do this. Yeah, let key up. This is what I was thinking of. I don't really want to do that. I guess I do. In this case, that's kind of exactly what I want. No, that isn't what I want. There's a better way to do it. It's this. What device of devices? You can get the key and the value, but in that case, it's the I think that's what I want. Probably weird to do this all in this request synchronously. Maybe I should make it an async with an await between each one. Is that the right way to do this? The classy way? I don't know. Draclin, have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. Super broken. Definitely wrong. What's wrong? Maybe I do need the key and value. I don't want that of a map. I feel like I just did this. I don't know. I know I'm new to map. Where did we just use that? Iterated over map. I mean, this is probably way easier. Let's just do this. And the key, this is what we did, and then the key was, we thought it was the first thing, but it was the second thing. Ooh, that's pretty good. Man, that's fast. That's so much faster. It's so much faster than having to yell at what's her face. Sometimes the if this then that thing is very slow, but if I push this blue button, it's almost instantaneous. The off. So I wonder if I do an on, if it will just have the previous state. So like, instead of doing this, if we just do on, maybe we do something like power on and power off. And then here we do power state, and then we need something like, it's so dark and spooky, but is the server gonna work? Okay. Then we want to do, let state equals and then down here we will just say state. That kind of seems like a thing that could work. Power on, power off. Okay, so now we are no longer, I don't know if this is better or worse. We won't change scenes like this. This is now just truly an on-off switch. Which would be pretty cool, right? Is if I'm like walking out the door and I just have some sort of nice artwork on the door, like next to the door, and I can just touch some part of the artwork and it will change the lights. That sounds pretty all right. Off, on is broken. Everything's broken. What did I do? What did I do wrong? Power on, power off. Stream, we should be calling power on. It's not scene, it's state. Haha. Okay, now it'll work. That's pretty good. How's it going, Goober? Okay, so now. Ooh, one problem though. I just realized this is all the devices, including the smart plug. And there is a box fan plugged into that smart plug. So if I turn this on, it will also turn on the box fan. So maybe we take the box fan out of the equation for the moment. Okay, and we call on and off and on and off. Oh yeah, what have you been doing with the NodeMCU? This is really, I haven't spent much time with them. I've done so much with Arduinos and Pis and various other things. Uh-oh, not everything turned back on that time. For some reason, So I'm like, I wonder if because every time I'm doing this, that this is like a stupidly inefficient thing to do, you know? Maybe I should do this connection once and then save it. An IR blaster, ooh, that's cool. Are you tormenting everyone in the neighborhood? Changing their channels? You know, there's a weird thing that some, I mean, you can definitely be a jerk with, like, you know, turning off TVs at bars or restaurants or whatever. But now sometimes smoke detectors will have an IR test mode so that you can, like, if they're mounted really high and you want to test it, you can just point any remote at it and try it. So you could blast, mess with your grandpa's TV. Nice. You could blast IR at people's smoke detectors too, and sometimes that will make them go off, or at least like do their little test chirp. You could also make an RF blaster and open everybody's garage doors, but that's probably like truly criminal. Okay, so this works reasonably well. The thing that is probably just dumb and inefficient is what I just mentioned. So let's look at the code and see what they actually do in there, because where did you go? It's cool that it worked on the smart plug. That's good news. I like that. So I was kind of worried it would only that node. Man, DuckDuckGo, you just can't find anything. I want to like you. What is it called? TP-Link Smart Bulb. TP-Link Light Bulb, not Smart Bulb. Excuse me. Okay, so we need like a constructor in here. Where do we find this? Oh no. Did you destroy it with the broom out of anger or out of trying to test it? You know, now probably there was secretly a microphone embedded in that and you could have just talked to it. Where's the constructor for this thing? Okay, that's the whole thing. So, oh, that's the constructor. Well, this doesn't really do anything. So I don't think there's any overhead actually, or I don't feel like there's any overhead to us doing a new one every time. Doesn't feel that bad to me, because all that happens in the constructor is it stores a variable. So I think we're actually fine. Right? Yeah, I think so. And then if we wanted to, Power also takes a parameter where you can put in other fancier stuff, so we could like change modes. Alexa, stop. What did she just start talking about? This is why I want to make this thing. I don't want her in my house anymore. I don't even know what she was just talking about. What was she just talking about? I didn't even say her name. Maybe she was like reading my social security number or something. She's a bad robot. She is a bad robot. Okay, what else do we want to do? That was kind of my goal for today. It's weird how there's a little bit of a delay. Oh, ouch. Well, you know, sometimes you just have to destroy expensive electronics with a broom. We've all been there. How much is a Nest smoke detector? I don't even know how much those cost. I'm assuming they're not cheap. Uh-oh, it just stopped working. Why did it stop working? Are we still getting data? I lost my Wi-Fi connection. So sometimes the node is exploding, which is not great. And I don't know why that is. That makes me not have a lot of confidence in my light switch if my light switch is gonna throw exceptions. It's hard. I mean, there's really not a lot going on in here. Yet no warranty when you smash the device with a broom. I don't know. If you get Apple Care now, you can just smash things, and I think it's still covered. Something appears to be amiss. The off button seems like it's working, but the on button doesn't. I'm just not connecting. Okay, we can have a node rave. Nope. It's broke already. I can't even throw a rave. If I can't throw a rave, this thing is... This is no good. Why would that be? It seems to get very upset when I like jump back and forth a lot. I guess it could be a short. I mean, there's not a lot going on here electrically. This is no good. I can't have a light switch that doesn't work sometimes. That'll send me into a rage. Look, stream got called a bunch. Didn't we just like write code to prevent that very thing? Did I do something wrong with it? Can I clear this? Yeah, we're getting multiple. I mean, I guess it's possible that the input's flaky and it's just jumping around, because this is just an old breadboard I found in my closet, and these are jumper cables that seem to not fit especially well. And also this is a NodeMCU that was a leftover that somebody else had, so there's just other potential problems here. I guess it wouldn't hurt to put a short wait at the end of each loop. Like, you don't really need to be... I mean, or do we? 500 milliseconds means you could almost certainly miss a click though, right? So we don't want to do that. Never mind. But like 100 milliseconds? Not a bad idea. Delay a little bit to avoid bouncing. So actually in this example, they do 50 milliseconds. That seems like probably what my problem was. I hope. It takes so long to upload. What is the Bebby doing? Very interested in the code, Bebby. Okay, so I should probably make some overlays one day that tell people how to use the Bevy. Are we happier now? Weird that sometimes one light doesn't come on. Maybe because my commands are just coming in too fast. Maybe the server should be better about like not sending. I mean, because it's always waiting. You could do something where you're always waiting for the previous input to go, but that seems not fun. Kind of weird how much of a delay there is, though, or how much of a delay there can be. Well, that was weird. They seem to turn off very reliably, but not turn on as reliably. Like that off, oh, never mind, that off was not reliable. I wonder what's happening in those instances. No, wait, come back. Oh, man, I just wanted to clear. Man. I blew it. Well, shucks. I think it's not the hardware, because if one of them works, then they should all work. So I mean, maybe I can see if it's actually throwing errors here. Okay, that is a bunch of off states that aren't happening. Did I lose my Wi-Fi connection here? I didn't really do anything to try to make sure that I could reconnect. This looks like I lost my Wi-Fi connection. Yeah. Which nobody wants that. Nobody wants their light switch to lose internet access. I have to hardwire all my light switches. Pretty weird. On, off, on state. That's the default on state, I guess. So just tell me what'll happen. And there's an on. So there's an on, all three happened. There's an off, all three happened. There's an on. Okay, that time they did not all turn off, but I only got 2 messages back. The payload that comes back doesn't seem to give me an identifier or anything. So it looks like they just were out of order. I was just going too fast. So that's really, I mean, that was a long delay. I waited a long time to press that one. One Mississippi. One Mississippi. One Mississippi. I mean, I guess that's all stuff that the Node script could be more picky about, like actually watching the results that come back and saying like, no, you're supposed to be off. Like having the Node server maintain some state for the individual lights. It is kind of weird how inconsistent it is though, because sometimes it seems so fast. Let's see. So I'm curious about this. Looks like, is there like a reconnect strategy? Oh, interesting. Just reboot. What are we doing if it's not connected? Nothing? Basically, we just say, if you're connected, you're golden. We should have, like, an else. Well, that just calls Wi-Fi connecting it, but I sort of don't want to. I sort of want to just reboot. Fatality. And I guess that's fair. But it sounds easier to just reboot it. Is reboot a thing? Well, let's try that. Yeah, Goober, I would have to maintain that because you can query the bulbs. So yeah, I would have to, there's an info command for these bulbs so you could ask them. Yeah, Binary Seed, it's not exactly a hub, it's like a cloud-based hub, but it seems, they seem to, like when I'm using these scene modes on my phone that are set up through the app, they seem very reliable in that way, where nothing gets out of sync. So I assume it's doing something, some checking to say like, hey, do this, and then saying, hey, did you do that? But meanwhile, Is ESP a thing that I have? Is that a thing that I get from... Well, what include do I need to be able to do that? Oh, it could be accessed with it. Okay, cool, great. Let's just try this. Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard to do. It would just be a little bit annoying. But not horribly so. But that's in... oh, wherever it is. Why can't I ever keep any windows open when I mean to? Oh, cloud. I don't think you could do any cloud stuff though. Oh, get the cloud info for a device. Cloud info from bulb. The heck does that do? Yeah, have it do. Although I don't think the maybe. Yeah, well, let's see. I think for the state I want that to happen on the Raspberry Pi because I think I might make multiple simple little NodeMCU sort of just dumb clients and then the Pi would be responsible, but yeah, but then I would only ever talk to the Pi, so the Pi could maintain the state and it could tell the node what to do. Or the node could just trust that the Pi would solve the problem. Let's see. Okay, cloud info. What are you talking about? Oh, weird. Well, there's my username. I'm glad it didn't show any passwords. Illegal type. Binded. Not bound, but binded. Okay, well, cool. Maybe scheduling and stuff goes through the Cloud API? I don't know. What Cloud really does in this context? Anything useful? Let's see. So I could do something where even, I think what's happening is I'm just sending requests too quickly, and since it returns a promise, I could just say, hey, this light bulb's already doing something. Wait for that promise to resolve before doing another thing. Or there's an easy way to queue stuff like that in Node. Okay, well, I do want to kind of try to break it on purpose now. Wish I could clear this. So my solution for that, for the password thing, is in both cases. I use, on the node side, I always use .env, and then I can have whatever secret stuff I need to in a file called .env that I won't show you because it's secret. And then in this case, just for the purposes of the stream, I just put the credentials in env.h. I mean, it's still stored in plain text, so it's not super great, but at least I wouldn't be showing it on stream all the time. Although I began this stream kind of with an open bet as to how long it would be before I accidentally showed my Wi-Fi password. Because I just finished working on a, so I just have these variables set, like this SSID and password are just set in that include. It's not secure at all, it just means that it won't be on stream, and it means that I can exclude that from version control. So I always hide .env in version control, and I'll hide this from version control too. Just so I'm not pushing passwords to get or whatever. So, but all that said, I just finished working on a Twitch extension that had a secret key, and I probably showed it on stream, I don't know, probably 10 times. I had to keep changing it. I guess my Wi-Fi password is not quite as bad to show on stream. Maybe, I don't know. So I wanted to try to sort of deliberately break this. Okay, so we got into a state where we're not good. So I hit off first, and there's my 3 offs. Oh, look at that. But only 2 ons. So I wonder if these devices, like, just don't listen to you if you send requests too quickly. But I didn't get a response at all, which is weird. Seems like I would have at least gotten an error. Aren't I listening for errors too? Oh, well, maybe it's because I'm doing the dumb thing I'm doing, where I'm just creating a new object every time. I know. I'm pretty sure that, I mean, Binary C is always watching the whole city. It's like that scene in, I think it's in The Dark Knight. In The Dark Knight, where like Wayne Enterprises can just always know everything that's going on at all times. That's kind of what Binary C has going on, and he's probably watching my apartment all the time. He probably already has everything. He's probably already in. Let's see. I mean, it could kind of be this dumb problem where I'm creating a new thing every single time. I don't need to do that. There's 0 reason for me to do that. 0, 0, 0 reason. Because there's nothing to that. So let's just do this. Like, our device reference will just be that. And then I don't know if this is actually going to help anything, but it's a little bit tidier. And if their code has any smartness to try to handle overly zealous clicking, let's see. Kind of not. It doesn't appear to. Oh well. Still feels a little bit better. I guess we should see if it works. Off on. Off on. Well, wait, I think it didn't turn off there for a second. Okay, we got into a bad state. So again, 3 offs but no on, unless my like last on here was left over. Be a little more helpful if, so the fact that these have temperatures or not, so I know that it's one of, yeah, I know it's this bulb. It's this light bulb. Well, I already know that because it's the one that's on. I can literally see that it's on, so I know which one it is. Why does that fellow not listen? And there's no error code or anything. Doesn't that seem weird? Where's the actual, where's power declared? Is that not in this file? No, it would be in this file. What am I missing here? What am I missing? Power. Okay. So, return info. Okay, so this does like have some internal tracking of state, it looks like. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look at the code and figure that out. I don't know if it's the bulb per se, or if it's just this node module that I found that somebody wrote by reverse, you know, they just kind of reverse engineered the protocol. So it does kind of look in here like it does maintain some kind of state. So the first thing it looks like it does is ask the light what its state is to see if it is not undefined. I don't know. This is just me guessing looking at this. And then ascend. Ignore default. You know what? I wonder if it's because I have an amount of time for the transition and the transitions are colliding. So what if my transition is 0? I wonder if I'm actually confusing the bulb or if I'm confusing the library. I kind of feel like I'm confusing the library. But I also don't want to like do this myself, so I'm pretty okay using this library. Oh, the Babby's right on the code. Babby, get out of there. Goober, I don't know if you ever saw any of the stuff we were doing with heat, but I have an extension that if you just click on my video, interactive things happen. Right now, this cat will go around and eat snacks wherever you click. So if you're trying to see something on the screen and the cat's in the way, you can just give him a snack and he'll go somewhere else. I can't remember if you stopped by on any of those. That one seemed like a relatively long wait. And it still happened. But I have 3 offs, 1 on to 3 ons. Like, it seems like it gets lost. I don't know. I mean, it's also not that big of a deal, but slightly annoying. It also is the thing that was not a problem when we were using the if this then that thing, because then it set the scenes perfectly. Unfortunately, that was slow. I was very slow. Well, maybe that's the trade-off. I kind of don't. I'm sort of surprised with as much interest as there seems to be in messing with these things, and the fact that TP-Link has integrations for Alexa and Google Home and if this then that. Like, it's weird they don't have a public API to mess with their cloud service. I would jump on that immediately. You know, I might be okay with this. Just weird that seemingly nothing comes back sometimes. That's a pretty weird deal. They TP-Link. So like all of this stuff is not official. This is just from, and there's a lot of it all over the place. There's a lot of people trying to reverse engineer and then mess with these bulbs. And it was some success, but not total success. And the ability to change scenes where you're changing multiple light bulbs simultaneously seems to be a big barrier currently among people messing with them. But they have an API, and it is like it exists in the world. I'm not going to say her name. Amazon's digital assistant, Google's digital assistant, and if this then that. Like, I can do if this then that. I can't show you because it uses a secret code, but that's what this is. Like, calling this URL to set a scene perfectly sets the state of all the light bulbs every time. No problem at all. It's just slow. And this is way faster. It just seems to be less reliable. I don't know. But I think that might be all I wanted to do today. So I've got some new hardware coming tomorrow, so we can mess with some more stuff. How should we end the stream? Let's have a light bulb rave since we're halfway there. It's gonna work. Let's see if it just works. It does. Okay. I guess we can turn on the bevy too. Goober, I appreciate it. If you want to try to click, if you're in a desktop browser, if you just click the bright spot on my wall in the video, it will control the lights. If you want to. You don't have to. I just finished this extension for a contest, so I'm kind of excited about it. I want everybody to use it and click everything all the time. Just click it over and over again. Yeah, amazing. So part of my home automation will also be connecting to Twitch to let people automate my home. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Life is yours, Jacqueline, Binary C, everybody else who stopped by. I super appreciate it. And we'll probably, I think I'll stream tomorrow again when we get some more hardware. Maybe start actually figuring out what the interface for this will look like, because I want to do kind of a weird copper thing. Pretty sure about that. Okay, awesome. Have a lovely evening. See you next time.